So we got this finished and texture coated. I did go ahead and finish stitching in this with my welder to make sure it was rock solid. It's welded all the way around and ground smooth. And did the body work here on that panel that we had to replace, and it's pretty well smoothed out. Because I think once we get the cab back on its bottom, I'll probably texture spray, leave this and then texture here and the entire floor and the back wall and probably underneath the dash. But I do like leaving this original patina just to show that there's not been any rust repair happening in these common areas. But all this has been sprayed with Raptor liner, which I really like to use. Super easy, it's fast, it doesn't have a lot of overspray, cleanup's not terrible. And then I went ahead and sandblasted the firewall while we were cleaning everything up, just to make that a little easier to smooth, weld up all the holes or whatever it is that we're going to do. So yeah, that's all done. And now I can set this thing back on its bottom. So the next step of this project, we've got the Crown Vic front suspension sandblasted a little bit because it had some goop and grime from its, I don't know, 20 years out on the road underneath that Crown Victoria. So we've cleaned that up and we've got it pulled in underneath our frame, which was painted a couple of weeks back. And we have our Backyards custom kit ready to get welded in and get this installed. Really glad to have this done so I can put some tires on this thing and quit dragging it around the garage. Like, I've got a nice cart for that independent rear suspension, which, by the way, we've got the parts to do it, gearing and install kit, so that's coming up probably in the next video. But today we're going to tackle this project. Alright, so the game plan is just cutting out some access here that's considerably smaller than the top of the Backyards custom kit. That way, let's see, it'll be this side. I know that my center point is going to be this bolt right here because I examined it before I took the truck apart and saw that this is where I wanted the front wheel center line. I want to line that up with this hole, which is that pin. And I cut this, like I said, I cut it smaller on purpose. I'll use a little more fine tool to get that cut out a little closer. But the idea is I can get in here and mark and drill where I need to drill without the top section of this frame rail in my way. So I've marked this side as well that I'll cut out. Then I can start drilling the alignment holes first, then I'll jack it up into place, make sure everything looks wonderful. Then I can mark and drill the through bolt holes and then trim out the metal of the frame that I need to trim out in order to drop this right into place. Ran out of welding wire, rookie mistake. Couldn't figure out why it wasn't welding when it stopped, but dead giveaway. Anyway, we got quite a bit of this burned in and ground down some, so I'll get some more welding wire and we'll get this buttoned up. Also wanted to point out on the lower control arm mounts, we'll grab these. These are also going to get welded here. And they live somewhere in this area. And they'll get welded along this face and then just along that back edge. But before you weld them in, from the factory on a Crown Vic, these rest something like that. So you can see where this is slotted to do adjustment in caster. So we're gonna zip a little line open and rotate this inside to where it'll give us this camber adjustment while this is basically mounted horizontal. So if you see that footage, you'll know why. We're trying to allow some adjustability in this suspension. Always a sucker for gold hardware on black paint. So that's it. Crown Vic installed on a 64 F100 frame. What would that take, like 12 or 13 minutes? Not really that big a deal at all. So that's the process. And you can see we have this now slotted horizontally to make those adjustments. Of course, this is all welded and ground, kind of smooth, halfway smooth, and painted, bolted down. And I did take this apart and do some painting on it, get that finished up. But that's it. And that's all. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later, y'all.